Welcome to Bridges to Alignment with Britt Bridges, Wellness Reimagined. This is a safe, transformative space where we explore energy healing, natural wellness, and the connection between mind, body, and soul. Through light, sound, and intention, you'll discover practical ways to align your energy, heal from within, and reconnect with your deepest self. This is your bridge to healing. This is your bridge to alignment.
Hello and welcome to our first episode of Bridges to Alignment, Wellness Reimagined. I am your host, Britt Bridges, Reiki Master and Expansion Coach. So incredibly excited to be here today. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for your energy. Just know that energy is truly a currency, and us exchanging this energy means the world to me. And I do want you to know that this is a safe and transformative healing container. I have cleansed the space. It is protected. And everything here is just meant to be naturally what occurs. We're going with the flow. We are taking some time in our day to calm our nervous system, to just take a breath, slow down, and reconnect with who we are at a soul level. Connect with our energy body. And what I always say with my content, and this should be for all content, is take what resonates and leave the rest, okay? Not everything that people are going to share is your truth, and that's a great thing because your truth is specific to your soul blueprint. So anything that you hear today that maybe you felt, I'm not sure if I agree with that, that is quite all right, and that's a wonderful thing because that is something that you can take into prayer, into meditation, to the higher power, God, source, whatever you believe in, and tap in and ask, Divine Spirit, is this my truth? Is this something that resonates with me? Because everything truly is a resonance. Because my friends, we are energy. We are pure light and sound, and we are vibrating at all different frequencies. And so that's what we're going to learn in this podcast, in Bridges to Alignment. This podcast is all about understanding what we truly are and unlocking secrets that were buried in science, in quantum physics more specifically, about our body and our system, and understanding that we are way more powerful than what we have been led on to believe. And so I do want to encourage you to like this post, follow this page, this channel, follow Willow Well Wellness Community. That's actually my company, is Willow Well. And at Willow Well, we offer energy healing modalities such as Reiki treatments and one-on-one coaching opportunities to learn more about energy and how you can harness your own body's energy to heal itself. And we have energy workshops. And yeah, so that's our sole purpose here at Willow Well and Bridges to Alignment podcast, is to help you to harness the energy within you to understand how powerful you truly are and to align. It's all about alignment. Think of alignment as expansion, expanding the consciousness, okay? The conscious mind. Consciousness is another word for your awareness. So expanding your awareness to see things from a different perspective, a higher level perspective that maybe you haven't experienced before. So with that being said, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to get comfortable because we are all the same here. We are all one, and there's no reason for anybody to be uncomfortable in this space, because this is a space where we can come as our authentic self and be who we truly are. And the one thing I do ask is, well, the second thing, because I did ask for you to take what resonates and leave the rest. But the second thing I ask is that you come with an open mind and an open heart, and know that, you know, some of this information maybe you've never been introduced to before or exposed to before. And that's a really great thing, because we truly are energetic beings, multi-dimensional beings who are constantly evolving, constantly expanding. What's the one guarantee in life? What is that saying? The one guarantee in life is change, right? It's inevitable. And so part of change is evolving and opening yourself up to learn new things. So that's what we're going to do in this healing space. And I do want to say that here we get real, okay? We express what we're feeling. There might be tears. There might be some anger. There might be all the emotions on the whole spectrum. And that's okay, because we want to express our emotions as they come up, allow them to be acknowledged and expressed so they can come out of our energetic body. Okay, we're going to deep dive more into that later, about how emotions are energy in motion and they're meant to be moving in and out of our bodies. Okay, so let's start by regulating the nervous system and creating some balance and harmony within our energetic bodies. Okay, so first what I want you to do is I want you to get up, okay? And we're gonna shake out whatever you've experienced today, whatever bad, situations may have came up, or tension or traffic, or, whatever it is. But because we are energy and we have an electrical body, an electrical system, the best thing we can do is move. That's why working out is so good for our bodies, because it allows our electrical system to get loosened up so energy can flow with ease through our nervous system, through our bodies, through the meridians of our bodies constantly. So that is the purpose always, is we want to constantly be having energy flowing in and out of our bodies. And the best and easiest way to do that is whenever you're feeling a little sluggish or achy or sore, is to move. And so I'm going to show you like some super duper duper simple movements you can do from the comfort of your home, comfort of your office. Don't necessarily recommend doing it while you're driving, because that could be dangerous. But just very simple things to get your body moving, because our organs and tissues are something called piezoelectric, meaning they operate from energy, that there is electricity running through them, okay? And they need to have that constant energy flow, like an electrical circuit, right? Constant energy flow. If energy flow stops, electric stops working, lights don't work, right? But if energy keeps flowing, everything is operating as it should, okay? So some simple movements that you can do at home. Jump. Jumping is so good for you. So just jumping, even in place. And then I like to add some swinging motions, but you don't have to, because that takes a lot of coordination. But yeah, I like to swing my arms around to get my upper body moving. I like to shimmy, shaking your body. That's why, have you guys seen those new vibration plates? Drop in the comments if you own one and if you recommend it, because I'm curious about those. But they sell it as a weight loss technique or certain item product, but I also think it's just great for getting your piezoelectric body charged, right? And when it's charged, it creates harmony and balance within your system. And so, yes, so shaking is a great thing. The other thing you can do is body slaps. So, gently slapping your body to get the lymph, okay? We have a lymphatic system running through our body, okay? That lymphatic system is how our nervous system communicates with us outside of our body, okay? It likes to be moved. When it gets clogged up, it causes disharmony in our system. That's when we experience dis-ease in the body. That's why lymphatic massages are really great, okay? But movement is the key. All right, so now that we've established that, and we've got all of our jitters out, you should be feeling a little bit looser. You can do a couple shoulder rolls. We're now gonna take it down a notch or two, and we're gonna do a quick breathing exercise. And breathing is so important because breathing is literally breathing life force energy or energy from the higher power, source, universe, however you refer to the higher power, breathing that energy through us, in and out, in and out. That truly is life. And that's why breathing has been proven in many case studies to regulate the nervous system and to bring our bodies into a state of homeostasis. And homeostasis is important because homeostasis is actually the stage in which our body heals itself. It's the stage in which stem cells start to produce naturally within our system. There are several ways to reach homeostasis, which we will talk about further later today and in future episodes. But by putting our body into a state of homeostasis, we are able to restore and regenerate new cells and tissues in our body and create vitality. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a moment, and this is a very easy breathing exercise for you guys to do. And you can do this at any time. Again, you can do it with your eyes open while you're driving, which is actually so funny because I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I was going on a trip recently, and she goes, "That's a long drive, 6 hours. What are you gonna do?" And I said, "Well, I'm gonna meditate and breathe, do some breathing exercises." And she said, "Mommy, that is not safe." And it made me laugh because, in her mind, right, it was breathing exercises or meditation had to be done with your eyes closed, which is not true. But of course I kept my eyes open and I explained that to her. But that was such a funny memory I had to share. I have a 5-year-old. All right, so here we go. So what I want you to do is I want you to be very comfortable. Loosen your shoulders. Untighten your jaw. Let it just hang gently, loosely. And what I want you to do is gently put your hands in your lap, whatever feels comfortable. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in. I'm going to guide you. We're going to breathe in for 10 seconds. Then we're going to exhale for 10 seconds. And we're going to do this 3 rounds, okay? 3 is a special number. 3 is the number in numerology for creation. 3 is the number for the Holy Trinity, body, mind, spirit, connecting together. So remember that. That's why a lot of things come in 3s. All right, here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. All right. So at this point, you should be feeling more relaxed, more receptive, more open. That simple breathing exercise and movement exercise brings our bodies out of fight or flight. It regulates our nervous system. It brings it into a safe, comfortable space. Another really great practice that you can incorporate while you're breathing or after you breathe is to imagine white light coming in through the channel above your head into your crown. In fact, let's do that now. Find your comfortable space. This is one more really great technique you can do at home to regulate your nervous system that's very simple. And then we'll deep dive into my history and what we have to look forward to on upcoming episodes. Okay, so very quickly, let's do this. So take another deep breath in. Exhale with a sigh. Okay, now I want you to imagine white golden light above your head coming down the channel. The channel is here. White golden light coming down the channel, entering your crown of your head, dropping into your crown, moving into your third eye chakra. That white golden light is coming down your face. And that golden white light that is filled with unconditional love from Creator, God, higher power, universe, is flowing into your neck. And that golden white light is now flowing down into your shoulders, down into your heart chakra, gently spinning, moving down into your solar plexus, then down into your sacral chakra. Keep imagining that golden white light coming down your body into your lower abdomen and base of spine. That white golden light's coming down your legs, into your feet. And I want you to imagine roots coming out of your bare feet. And your bare feet are on grass. And the roots are penetrating into the soil, going deep down into the soil, where you're connecting to God, to Earth, to Mother Gaia, and you are feeling the frequency of God, of Mother Gaia, of Earth, coming up, back up into your feet, all the way up through your body, all the way up, and then out your crown, the top of your head. This, my friends, is called grounding. Grounding is another great way to regulate your nervous system, to bring you out of fight or flight.
Sponsored by Dublin Roasters is the Frederick Coffee House, fueled by love and positivity. Visit Dublin Roasters at 1780 North Market Street or at DublinRoastersCoffee.com, where you can order online and have coffee shipped right to your door. You can sign up for a monthly membership as well, open for curbside and deliveries 7 days a week. Think you've seen it all? Danny Gurry keeps finding Frederick's hidden gems. Family spots, mom and pops, and can't miss bites. Good Morning Frederick. Make sure to watch live at 9 a.m. every weekday on Facebook and YouTube.
It is so important. There are a lot of times, especially if you live in colder climates, like we're here in Maryland and it's so cold and you can't go outside. This is a great visualization for you to ground indoors, just using your mind, your imagination, visualizing. It's just as effective as doing the real thing, okay? So now that we've shared a few ways to regulate your nervous system, get in a receiving mode, let's jump into why I decided to create this podcast. So I come from, my background is in mass communications. I have a degree from University of South Florida. And it's so interesting because here I am now hosting a show that is streamed to the mass population. And everything has just gone full circle for me. You know, when I was in school, I interned at several radio stations and podcasts, and it was incredible. But once I left college, I ended up going more into marketing and sales and then into nonprofit management, which that is one of my other callings. That's something I'm very passionate about, is advocating for causes and helping communities grow and thrive. And so, you know, taking that component of helping folks grow and advocacy for something that's important, and then now it all evolving into energy healing and learning to master Reiki. It's so interesting how all of this has just truly been divinely orchestrated. And I encourage you to do a life review. Sit down and think about, where were you 20 years ago? Because I graduated college 20 years ago. Where were you? What were you doing? Where are you now? And you will be shocked to find how much progress you've made in your life. You will be so proud of yourself. You will be so proud of yourself. And that person you were 20 years ago is so proud of you too, that version of you, because as we evolve, we up-level into new versions of ourselves. And so that exercise is a great way to acknowledge how far you've come. It's an energy exchange with yourself, that you don't need external validation to say, holy moly, I have accomplished so much, and I'm doing so much for my community, and I'm doing something that is passionate, and I'm doing something that's going to change the world, and I'm doing something that I know I was placed on this planet to do. And that's called soul alignment. Okay? And so I did spend a few years working in the hospitality industry, which was great and fun, but corporate life was not necessarily for me. And then I left and I raised children for about 7 years, 2 children. I have a 12-year-old and a 5-year-old, beautiful, beautiful phase of my life. And then it was a year and a half ago when it was time for me to say it's time to get back into the workforce. It's time for me to make my imprint on this world. What am I going to do? And my friends, I had an awakening. It was gradual over the years, but it was solar eclipse 2024. And that was when I had a divine intervention, and God said to me, you need to meditate. You need to start going inward and realizing that in our hearts is where higher power, God, source, universe exists. And that is where you need to start sourcing your energy from, not externally. Nothing externally, Britt, will ever be able to satisfy what God, can give to you, provide to you. And so that's what I did. I started going inward. I started meditating. I started to balance my chakras. I started to learn about energy, and that we are energy beings, and that we are pure light and sound, wavelengths of light and sound. And that is actually comes from quantum physics. So, you know, I always like to make sure that I talk about the science, right? Not just the woo-woo part, but kind of bridge. That's what Bridges to Alignment is about, is bridging the science and the spiritual together. And so that's called wave-particle duality. And that in quantum physics is basically a principle that says that at a tiny scale, particles such as electrons really behave like waves of sound and light. And that energy that we are doesn't always just go in a linear line. It actually is a wave of energy that goes out into this field around us called the quantum field. And that quantum field is a living, breathing electrical field that we have access to. Okay? So that's what we're going to learn about today, is we're going to tap a little bit more into the science of energy and how we can harness that energy to find our true soul purpose. And that's just what I did, is I started to balance my energy centers. I started to go more inward and talk directly to the divine, not advice from my friend, not advice from my career counselor, but what does Brittany's soul want? Okay? And when you go inward and you connect to your creator, higher power, so much is revealed to you. Okay, so one way that I learned a lot about what I needed to heal in order to align with my soul purpose here on this planet and raise my frequency was I started journaling. This is another really great takeaway, is I started journaling. What I would do is throughout my day, I would observe triggers. What was triggering me? Was it the person that was riding my tail when I was driving? Was it the person that cut me off? Was it my partner who wasn't giving me enough attention? And I would go into journal and I would write that down. And what I would do then is I would take that trigger. So let me use an example. My trigger was my partner wasn't giving me enough attention. And I would go into meditation or prayer and I would ask God to reveal to me, what does that mean? What is the lesson of that trigger? And what I found, interestingly, is that was a mirror of what I wasn't giving myself. So the partner who wasn't giving me attention, I wasn't giving myself attention. I was trying to source it externally instead of sourcing it from within. That person in traffic that cut me off or was riding my tail, they weren't being patient. You know what that revealed? I wasn't being patient with myself and my needs and being patient with, you know, where I was going in my life. And I needed to give myself more love and more patience. And so as I started to learn about what these triggers were teaching me, because everything is a lesson. Everything is a lesson in this life. That is the one thing I'm learning, is there's really no good or bad. It's a duality, right? It's the polarity of life. You can't know good without bad. You can't know dark without light. But it was learning these things. And as I went through that process of that life review, I started to realize where I was settling, where I wasn't having strong energetic boundaries, where I was holding myself back and not shining my light bright. And I realized there were even people in my life that were preventing me from evolving and growing into this multi-dimensional being that I am. That all led to me removing narcissists, or I would say unhealed people from my life that was not contributing to my healing journey. And so removing these really critical people, I mean, I'm talking like a lot of family members. I'm talking, a husband, now ex-husband. I'm talking, just realizing that I had become the programs that were taught to me, right? I had become the programs in my life that the system taught me, my parents taught me, that were passed down from generation after generation, of how I would choose people because of what my definition of love was, because of what I witnessed, rather than what the real definition of love is, which can only be sourced and found here in your heart. And so I say all this and share my story because, yes, I faced many hardships. None of us are exempt from that, right? None of us are. And I feel for you. But I just want you to know you are way more powerful than you know. You are way more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Because you are a powerful, multidimensional being who can access past lives, if you believe in that, who can access energy within you, energy from divine, to allow you to raise in frequency and create alignment, create expansion, because we are all light and sound. We are wavelengths of light and sound. And I'm going to drop a photo into the comments so you'll see what I'm talking about when I say that we are particles of light and sound. And what happens is the sound, it ends up collapsing into light. And so if you think about it, it makes sense that we are light. What did the Bible say? What was the first verse in the Bible? Let there be light. We are fractals of light from the divine, from our Creator. And that leads me to, let's talk more about the science, right? Let's talk more about the quantum physics of things. So our bodies, they're very intuitive, very intellectual. They literally house information within us, all the information that we need to fulfill our purpose here on this planet. And our DNA is literally an antenna that is constantly receiving information from the energy field and quantum field around us. We just have to take the time to listen and to tap in to this energy, to understand what is it that we need to resolve within our energetic field to create balance and harmony within our system. And so our bodies, they're electric. And I mean, this is not new information, right? I mean, you know that our hearts are electrical because you need a defibrillator to literally pump life back, right? Like charge life back into our heart if it ever stops. And, just like an electrical board, our nervous system is just the same as an electrical board. It allows the electricity to flow through our nervous system, through our entire body. That's why when there's something going on with your nervous system that's causing you discomfort, it's literally affecting your entire body because your nervous system is connected. It's all one. It is all one, okay? I wish I had my images because I would show you right now, but something that's really important to understand is that light cannot be seen fully by our eyes. This is such a powerful statistic. our eyes only see 0.0035% of the electromagnetic spectrum of light. I mean, that's not even 1% that we're not seeing around us. And that's why we have special imagery, right, that can pick up on light and sound, like X-rays and these special infrared light cameras and things that can pick up that what our eyes can't see. So imagine, right? Imagine how much we're not seeing. And so, you know, what is that saying? There's so much more than meets the eye. Ding, ding. There's a reason that these sayings, right, that go with the flow, because we're supposed to keep energy flowing through our body. There's more than meets the eye, because our eyes are not seeing the full picture of what is happening around us in the energy field. And now, this is something that I do at Willow Well with my clients, if they choose, if you wish to access the ability to see more into the electromagnetic field, it's possible. You have the ability to do so. And it's through exercises, through balancing your chakras, through raising your frequency, that these abilities come online. And you know, you meet people, right, that have clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance. And that's because the clairs are a result of folks tapping into their natural abilities to see and perceive things on a deeper level, because we have access to all those things and we have not been privy to that. We have been in the system that we live in. Why would they want you to know that you're so powerful? Why would they want you to know that you empower you to take control of your own health, empower you to take control of your own emotions, when you have the power and ability to do all those things? They don't want you to know that, because then that creates a healthy society, right? Not a sick society. So just be mindful of that what we're talking about here today and in this podcast series is things to help you break out of these cycles and realize how powerful you are to take your power back, okay? So neurons from neuroplasticity, which create new pathways. So we're always creating neural pathways within our system, always, when we learn a new skill, right? So if you're learning a new instrument, you're creating neural pathways in your brain where two neurons connect, neurotransmitters connect, and it creates a neural pathway. And that neural pathway allows you to keep practicing it until it becomes a habit, until it becomes a program. And so you have the ability to continue to create new neural pathways that you've never imagined before. And so we're going to learn about that as well on this journey together. And essentially, thoughts, okay, hear me out, they are energy as well. Everything is energy within us, okay? So particles, right, such as, so the particles that are within us, they are energy. Wow, here we go. All right, we're getting back on track here. So essentially, the electrons, right, the particles that are within us, that create us, you can't see them, right? But depending on the frequency they're vibrating at is what we can see. So for example, the human body is a frequency that is vibrating at a lower level, so you can see the matter. It creates matter when it's vibrating at a lower frequency. When we start vibrating at a higher frequency, you can't see this, right? And my daughter, she actually gave me this example last night, way beyond her years. But she's like, this reminds me of how the different dimensions, right? So the 3D, which we're operating in, we can see matter. But if you're operating at a higher frequency, things are vibrating faster, right? Faster, and you can't see it, right, anymore as a solid because it's vibrating so fast, right? And so that's a good example of our thoughts, right? We can't see our thoughts, but the truth is it's energy that is creating our entire reality. Superposition, which is a natural phenomenon that occurs in quantum physics, where electrons exist in multiple states and a million different outcomes can result based on the attention and observation that you give it. So at this present moment, there are a million different outcomes that can occur on how you decide to act from this moment forward. But the moment you put a thought to it, right? Like, I'm going to get lunch. That is intention. That is your thoughts going towards it. And then that creates your reality. So that is what's happening. So imagine if we all collectively put our thoughts together, our energy together to create a better future for ourselves, a future of peace, harmony, joy among all people, because we are all one. We are all connected in this quantum field. So I always say, if you could take 2 to 3 minutes a day to sit in prayer and meditation and think about what you want our world to look like. What is the utopia? What in an ideal world, what would it look like to you? Because that's very powerful when you put your mind and energy towards that. So knowing this is so important, because knowing that you have all that power, that your thoughts are literally creating your reality, tells you that you are able to control your emotions, control your thoughts, control your outcomes, meaning you can heal your body, you can heal yourself. You have to believe it, and you have to take the steps necessary to do it, to keep that energy flowing. All right. Sorry, going off on tangents here, but my last point I wanted to make about the science and understanding quantum physics principles is there's something called quantum entanglement. And this is when 2 or more particles become entangled together. And this is happening every day in our realities. This happens when you meet a new person, when you communicate with your child, when you make eye contact with the Starbucks attendant. All of these energy entanglements occur. And so, you ever get home from a day's work and you're like, oh my God, I feel exhausted and I feel like crap. And some like weird thought comes to your mind. You're like, why am I thinking of this? That's not even like something that I would normally think about. But that's because you became entangled with somebody's thoughts who is thinking that. And this happens all the time with news media. Like if you're watching the news and the content you're consuming on socials, same thing, right? You're literally entangling, you're creating an energetic cord with that content, person, place, or thing, and that continues to flow through you. Now, we're going to learn about how to protect our energy, how to cleanse our energy, how to cut those cords, so that way you can do these types of things daily and not be connected with this negative energy. So that way you can continue to rise in your frequency. And what else do we want? The last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is something we're going to talk a lot about in upcoming episodes, is emotions. And I think I mentioned this earlier, that emotions are energy in motion. They are meant to be moving through us. They are meant to be expressed, okay? And expressing these emotions is the key to your healing journey, my friends. And I know it sounds so simple because it's like, really? That's it? I just have to express my emotions? But yeah, really, that's what you have to do. And it goes so much deeper than that. And we're going to learn along the way here through these episodes and through if you ever need services with Willow Well, you'll learn how to address these different emotions, because the emotions are tied to so many different places, right? It's tied to your current mental state. Are you in disharmony? Do you have health problems? It's tied to your childhood, right? Childhood traumas, even adulthood traumas, past relationships. It's tied to ancestral lineage and energy that was pulled down through those lineages that is attached to you. It's, if you believe in reincarnation, it's previous life trauma and energy that you've pulled in from previous lives. So helping you to identify where these emotions are being stored in your body and learning techniques on how to move that energy through your body. And so that's what I do when I work with Reiki. I know some of you have asked, what is Reiki? I don't understand it. So Reiki is an energy healing modality that utilizes the quantum field and the life force energy that is contained within the quantum field. And life force energy is in us, around us, and it essentially, what I do is I'm able to read into your body's magnetic field and into your chakras and see where you have blocks or impurities, or even in your auric field if you have tears or rips that occur for a number of different reasons. But I'm able to help you move that energy that is blocked within your chakras or your auric field. I'm able to essentially move it and manipulate it and move it out of your body to create harmony and balance within your body, which ultimately then leads to you being in a state of homeostasis, which leads to your body, allowing your body to naturally heal itself. And it is a miraculous healing modality and something that I don't take lightly, very serious about it. So if you are interested in Reiki, I'd love to talk more about it with you. I am planning on deep diving more into Reiki and what that looks like, even doing some Reiki for you on a future episode. But with that being said, I just say anytime you're working with any energy healing professionals, please make sure you use your discernment, meaning use your intuition. If you have a gut feeling that they are not, their energy is not resonating, I say this a lot because again, we are light and sound vibrating, and there's a resonance that you have with everything in your environment, including people. If someone is not resonating with you, there is a reason that person is not resonating with you, and it's not healthy for your energy body. So just be careful when you're choosing energy healing professionals. It's the same, right? There's good and bad in every industry, so just be very careful because when you're working with energy, it's a very powerful and gentle healing modality, but it's just something that you need to make sure that ethics are involved because that's very important. Okay? And so what I would love to do is just kind of wrap up a few things and like some takeaways for you guys, because I know that was a lot of information today. Feel free to replay it. Feel free to ask me any questions. Let me know what you thought about this. What you can look forward to on future episodes is a lot of deep diving into what I talked about today. So learning more about energy, learning more about other energy healing modalities such as sound healing and acupuncture and other nervous system regulation tools and techniques that you can do in the comfort of your home.
Thanks for joining Britt Bridges on Bridges to Alignment. If this message spoke to you, be sure to like and subscribe for more conversations on energy healing, natural wellness, and living in alignment with your highest self. Bridges to Alignment is proudly part of the Everything Frederick Live podcast network and can be rewatched anytime on the Everything Frederick Live YouTube channel. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, and keep aligning with the life you are meant to live.
This episode is a proud production of the Everything Frederick Live podcast network. your home for Frederick's best podcasts, streaming daily.